Okay, good morning. So there hasn't been much content posted this week. There was some on Monday, but that's been about it. I've been in conferences with students, so there's been some just missed conferences and some just missed communication. Entirely my fault. I have no doubt about that. Um, so I just thought maybe for those of you who didn't get a chance to meet with me and or just want just a refresher, here's a video that's pretty much going over what I was asking and discussing in the conferences. The point of the conferences was really just to give you a moment individually to ask questions. But I think this is helpful as well. So I'm going to go through the assignment sheets really quickly for you with the final project. So here we have it. This is up on Moodle as of right now. So one of the things that I ask in the conferences is for you to think about content that would be helpful to have posted onto Moodle. So if you have it after listening to this video, just send me an email and I will work on that over the weekend. So the main thing to keep in mind is that the due date on this is Tuesday, June 30th at 5 p.m. You can email it to me directly as just a group document, or you can put it up into your RJ. Either one doesn't matter to me as long as I get it. You have to turn in all components to receive a passing grade, and you want to be very careful about citing anything in here when you use research. You can use research, absolutely, in any of these sections, but you just have to make sure that you cite them. So those are the two provisions. I don't know why I said provisos. Anyway, so here we go. Final project, 200 days, summer 2. So part one's a close reading. If 1,000 words, you can analyze a section or sections of poetry by Ritvo from Four Reincarnations. So what that means is you can pick one poem and say this is indicative of the book, so that's why I'm focusing on it. Or you can you can think about like what is the arc from section 1 to section 4, or what do you want to say about the movement of this book, and pick little stanzas and lines from different poems to make sure that you make your point. Either way is fine. Just have a good argument for why you're doing it. You can focus on imagery and line, which we did in our first essay, or whatever else you think is important for the book. Sorry, my pets are all around me right now. And so you can do either one, entirely up to you. The purpose of this is to showcase your ability to analyze, cherry pick, and discuss specific moments of poetry. So that's the first main part that I'm grading, is to see can you and have you been paying attention to the analysis videos and examples. So make sure you avail yourself of that. And then secondly is to make sure that you read the book, right? That's pretty much what we're trying to do with this one. So if you can do those two things, you're good to go. Watch the content that I've posted on Ritvo. Watch the content from earlier in the semester, just to make sure that you're getting a good sense of what I mean when I say analysis and cherry picking. So please make sure that that's something you do with part one. Again, 1,000 words. You do not have to have research, but if you do incorporate research, please cite it appropriately. By research, I mean even if you looked up something to better understand the book before you wrote about it, that's completely acceptable and in many ways a good plan. So just put a little footnote where you cite the information that helped you get to where you are. Part two is the annotated bit. So these grades are going to come in, I'm hoping today and tomorrow, so you'll have an understanding of where you're at. That will be the grade that you get on the second essay. That grade will stand. You can revise that for the final project. You'll still have that second grade as is, right? But the new annotated bib will be treated as a new document, which means that your grade will increase on that portion of the final project. You do not have to do a revision if you don't want to, but you are more than welcome to. Completely up to you. You may contact me and have a conversation about the grade as you see fit. The topper proposal is definitely probably the newest one. There's content on Moodle already about it, so please rewatch that and look at the documents. But mainly, you're just introducing your ideas, questions, research, and approaches for a potential research paper. So you would normally turn this in, 3 weeks to a month before the final paper is due in traditional semester. I'd be able to give you some comments about what direction I think you're going in and if it makes sense, and give you some suggestions. So basically, it just means that you're trying to, again, convince me that you have read the book, read it closely, considered merits and or shortcomings, and that you attempted to better understand the whole text through research. So you're going to introduce different elements. There's a plant right there. I'm sorry, I just now recognize that. That's really whatever. All right, so that's fine. You can look at that and get that to me. That's 2 pages. It's very short. It's an introductory piece. So make sure that you are being concise and to the point and getting across all of these elements here, right? That's really the point of all of this. Creative writing component. So you will write a poem in the quote unquote style of Max Ritvo. This can mean anything: imagery, content, narrative, characters, line lengths, stanza structure, etc. It can be different types of register that he uses, using italics, whatever you think is indicative of a Max Ripville poem is what that's my cat, is going to be what you include inside of your own poem. There is no line length. Just make sure that you argue for it being close to that, to a Ripville poem. 250 word paragraph after that, where you basically explain your choice and why you think it's important to a Ripville poem. Why did you pick that particular style? Those are the 4 component parts. Hey, you too. Those are the 4 component parts. So all of them have to be turned in to receive a passing grade. So make sure you remember that. Keep it back. Sorry. So do that. That's the whole thing. Due by Tuesday. You can turn it in earlier than that, but if you do, it's mine to grade. You can't add to it or take away from it. I'll be posting a checklist that goes over all of it to make sure that you have it all. Pretty much it'll look like this document, but just a little bit more in terms of list form. I'm happy to look at drafts up to Monday, and I'm happy to have Zoom meetings if and when you need them. They'll probably need to be morning and evening time, but if you can make that work, I'm happy to do it. That's pretty much it. Be careful with what you turn in. I'm looking for clean copy, have watched the videos, have read the book, have done the research. We're talking just college 101 here, right? Do that, and I think you'll do just fine on it. If you have more questions about this, which is completely fine, don't hesitate to reach out and send me an email, and I will do my best to answer them. And if I can't, then we will meet, and we'll make sure we go over it again. So more content to come, but for right now, you have this, and I hope that it's helpful. Please reach out as you need to. Have a good morning. See y'all soon.